Hello, Tonali. What a brilliant day it is to be talking about our magnificent Newcastle United, isn't it? There's nothing quite like the bond we share as supporters of the best team in the world. And today we've got some genuinely touching developments to discuss that really showcase the heart and soul of our beloved club. Now then, before we dive in, I've got a couple of questions that I'm absolutely dying to hear your thoughts on. What do you make of Sean Longstaff'S move to Leeds United for $12 million? And do you think the emotional reactions from players like Tino and Sandro Tonali show just how tight-knit our squad really is? And how does it make you feel as a fan when you see such genuine affection between our players, even when one of them is moving on to pastures new? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I know you'll have some brilliant insights. Part 1. Sean Longstaff'S emotional farewell and the brotherhood at Newcastle United. Right then, let's talk about Sean Longstaff'S recent move to Leeds United and the absolutely heartwarming responses generated from our current squad. You know, there's something really special about seeing a player who's moved on for $12 million still taking the time to thank our club properly, and the reactions from his former teammates have been nothing short of beautiful. Sean Longstaff wasn't just any player for us, was he? This lad came through our academy system, bled black and white, and understood exactly what it meant to pull on that famous Newcastle shirt week in, week out. When he posted that Instagram message saying, "Thank you for everything NUFC" alongside his highlights reel, you could feel the genuine emotion behind those simple words. It's not often you see such heartfelt gratitude from a departing player, and it really speaks volumes about the kind of person Sean is and the culture we've built at St. James Park. The response from our current players has been absolutely incredible, hasn't it? Tino Livermento's message really got to me. "Thanks for everything, brother. You'll be a big miss." You can just feel the genuine friendship there. These aren't just teammates throwing around platitudes for social media. These are proper bonds between lads who've shared the dressing room, the training pitch, and all those magical moments that come with representing the best team in the world. And what about Sandro Tonali's reaction? A crying emoji with 3 red hearts might seem simple, but sometimes the most powerful emotions are expressed in the simplest ways. Here's an Italian international midfielder, a player who could play for any top club in Europe, showing genuine sadness at seeing his teammate leave. That tells you everything about the atmosphere Eddie Howe has created at our club, doesn't it? The fact that Alan Shearer himself took time to wish Sean well just shows the respect the lad has earned throughout the Newcastle family. When our greatest ever goal scorer acknowledges you, that's something special. Joe Willock admitting he had a tear in his eye. Now that's the kind of raw emotion that makes football so beautiful. And Paul Dummett saying Sean lived the dream is perfect because that's exactly what every Newcastle lad dreams of doing, isn't it? Jacob Murphy calling him a hero and a legend might sound over the top to outsiders, but we know better. Sean Longstaff represented everything good about our club during his time here. He was one of us, came through our system, and never forgot where he came from. That $12 million fee Leeds paid with another $3 million in add-ons shows they're getting quality, but more than that, they're getting character. What really strikes me is how this whole situation reflects the transformation of our club under the current ownership and Eddie Howe's management. We're not just building a team, we're building a family. The genuine affection these players have for each other, the way they support one another even when someone moves on, that's the foundation of something special. It's the kind of culture that attracts top players and keeps them wanting to stay and fight for the shirt. Now, let's dive into something that really puts Sean Longstaff'S quality and character into proper perspective, shall we? Back in 2023, Callum Wilson made a statement that absolutely perfectly captures what Sean brought to our beloved Newcastle United. When Wilson said he wouldn't swap Longstaff for anyone, that wasn't just a throwaway comment from a teammate, that was a genuine assessment from one of the most experienced forwards in the Premier League. Think about the context of Wilson's words for a moment. He was talking about how the club had just brought in a $60 million striker. That would be Alexander Isak, of course, and how that created healthy competition throughout the squad. But when it came to Sean Longstaff, Wilson was adamant that they wouldn't change him for anybody now. Coming from a player who's seen it all in English football, who's played alongside some tremendous talents, that's an incredible endorsement, isn't it? What Wilson highlighted was exactly what made Sean so special for us. Here was a lad who came through our academy system, who understood the DNA of Newcastle United from his very core. and who responded to Eddie Howe's coaching by becoming a top player week in, week out. That transformation under Howe's guidance was something beautiful to witness, wasn't it? Sean went from being a promising youngster to becoming an integral part of our midfield, someone who could hold his own in the Premier League and contribute meaningfully to our success. The fact that Wilson specifically mentioned how Sean was getting the best out of him under the manager shows just how much our coaching setup has evolved. Eddie Howe has this remarkable ability to take players and elevate them beyond what anyone thought possible. Sean Longstaff is a perfect example of that philosophy in action. He wasn't the most glamorous signing or the biggest name, but under Howe's guidance, he became exactly the type of player you need to build a successful Premier League team around. What's fascinating about Sean's journey is how it reflects the broader transformation of our club, doesn't it? When he first broke into the first team, we were struggling near the bottom of the table, fighting relegation battles, and wondering if we'd ever compete at the top level again. By the time he left for Leeds, he was part of a squad that had qualified for the Champions League and was genuinely competing with the best teams in Europe. That journey mirrors our own as supporters, from despair to genuine hope and excitement about what the future holds. The $12 million fee that Leeds paid for Sean, with those additional $3 million in add-ons tied to Premier League survival, shows they're not just getting a decent player. They're investing in proven Premier League quality. Sean knows what it takes to succeed at this level. He's experienced the pressure of big matches, and he's learned from some of the best coaches and players in the game during his time with us. For Leeds United, Sean becomes their fifth summer signing alongside players like Sebastian Bornau, Lucas Nmecha, Xhaka Bijol, and Gabriel Goodmanson. They're clearly building something special at Ellen Road, and getting a player of Sean's caliber and character will be massive for them as they look to establish themselves back in the Premier League. But what does this mean for us moving forward? Well, Sean's departure creates an opportunity for other players to step up and fill that void in our midfield. The emotional response from our current squad shows they understand they're losing not just a teammate, but a leader and a positive influence in the dressing room. That's the kind of loss that can either weaken a team or make them stronger through the bonds it reveals. The way our players have rallied around Sean's departure, showing such genuine love and respect, tells me we've got the right characters at this club. When you see Tonali, Livramento, Murphy, Willock, and the rest of the lads expressing such heartfelt emotions, it shows we've built something special here. That culture, that family atmosphere, that's what will help us continue moving forward, even when we lose good players like Sean. Looking ahead, Sean's move to Leeds means we'll get to see him in action against other Premier League sides. And who knows, maybe even against us if our paths cross in cup competitions. I'm sure every Newcastle fan will be watching his progress with interest and wishing him well, because that's the kind of supporters we are for players who gave everything for our shirt. Well, that's all from St. James's Park for today, lads and lasses. Sean Longstaff's move to Leeds has shown us once again what a special family we have at Newcastle United. Keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. The bonds between our players, the respect they show for each other, and the love they have for this club. That's what makes us truly special. Away the lads!